Video and audio transitions in Premiere Pro. Why do they work sometimes and other times they don't? First, let's start with just regular transitions. Some video I have of a basic camera zoom. I'm going to go ahead and let the zoom get started and mark in, hitting the I button, or you can click right here to the mark in. And of course, we want to mark out before the camera's done, so O for out. I'm going to go ahead and throw that down with the overwrite key. Now I've got a different one. This is a pan. Let's go ahead and it starts, hit I for mark in, and you always want to mark out before the camera stops moving. So now I have these two pieces of video, and it's kind of abrupt going between the two. Now I'm going to delete this audio, so we're just looking at video right now. And I'm going to put my mouse on the edge to get the trim tool, right click, and apply default transition. And let's go ahead and look at it. There you go. Now video transitions in Premiere default to be 1 second long. If you want to change that, you just double click and it's going to open up set transition duration. So let's make it say 3 seconds long. 3.00. Now you can't just type in 3 because it thinks you are meaning 3 frames. So you do have to put .00 on your numeric keyboard. And let's hit OK. And you can see it's much longer now. Now, one thing you might notice about this is there's this little weird crisscrossy thing, and that's going to make sense in a minute. You might also have noticed that the trim tool was appearing because, yes, the trim tool does work with transitions. You just click and drag, the trim tool will appear, and you can make them shorter or longer with the trim tool. So that's how you make a basic transition. But what was up with that weird crisscrossy thing? Let me hit undo. What is this crisscrossy thing? Well, this is because we do not have any handles. So let me show it to you on this one. We've got two pieces of video, a little bit bigger yellow flower, and then it has got a red flower. And you can see that is really abrupt, so we want to put a transition. I'm going to click, right click, and apply default transition. And it's going to give us this warning dialog. Insufficient media. This transition will contain repeated frames. Okay, let's just say okay. You know, Premiere used to just tell you, nope, can't do it. It's telling us, I think there's a problem, and you can see it does not look right. Something is wrong. I'm going to make this really big so you can kind of see it do its thing. Let's hit play. Okay, did you notice that when it played through, that the yellow flower paused? So notice that the red flower is not moving. Now the yellow flower is not moving. What is happening is it is trying to do what we asked, but it literally cannot do it. So it took the very first frame of red and it repeated it all the way back to here so that it could do what we wanted it to do. And for yellow, it took the very last frame and it repeated it all the way through to here because it was trying to help us out. That is because we needed to put handles. So let's talk about that. So these are handles. There you go. You have to have that to do transitions. Okay, I'm just kidding. That's just what we call them as handles. So I like to explain this by talking about an old-time DJ mixer. They would have two albums so that they could fade one out while the next one was fading up. If they had two songs that were on one album, they wouldn't be able to fade between itself. They had to have two separate things. So think about it on your timeline kind of like this. We have song A and we have song B. If we want A to, what they're wanting is they want something like this. They want A to fade out while like that, while B is fading in. And it would look something like this on our editor. A is going down while B is coming up. And it would basically do something like this. Song A really ends right here. It does not exist past that. And song B does not exist before that. So how could it possibly cross over like that? Well, the answer is it can't because it doesn't have any handles. We need for it to do this, and that isn't going to work. We need song B, the red song, to start all the way back here and slowly fade up. And we need the song A, the blue song, to slowly fade down, which means it needs to keep going until we have it right here. We need for it to exist even longer than it does, and we literally cannot do that. It's because we don't have handles. Handles look something like this in Premiere. When we mark in and mark out, we have more on our master clip. We have these extra things Think of this as being a pot that is hot on your stove. You can't pick it up without handles. You'll burn yourself. So if we have the in and out points, we have handles and we can do a proper transition. So when we go back to this, it makes sense why this one's not moving. It had to duplicate it. So let's try and fix this. Let's go back and grab these two. I'm going to have yellow first, but this time I'm going to mark out. So you'll notice that there is still some video left over at the end. Now we're going to be able to do a proper transition. I'm going to go ahead and put that one down, and then let's go get red, and I'm going to make sure there's more that exists right here. Marking in, we have a handle. Now when we try to put a transition between the two, it lets us do it. And you see they're both moving. Let's make this longer. That is a proper transition. So this is why sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't.